And we are live. Hello, this is Peter Palmiotti of Untitled Studios, and this is Making Comics on our episode 255. And this is me and Mark catching you up on various things. This is Mark in the chat, so you can follow him all across the interwebs. It came from the radio. Just write that down and go follow him everywhere. And in case you didn't know, I put it in the chat. I didn't put any description down below in the video, but I'll add that tomorrow or something. I've been back-to-back busy. And yeah, we got Designated is live, and Wildcat Anthology is still live. I think that ends first. And we're closer to getting funded with Wildcat. So that's always a good thing. And we're still pushing to get Designated funded. So
should I pull up the Wildcat Anthology?
Well, we'll do the Hermione action figure giveaway first.
So as we mentioned in the launch party, which was the 30th of July, 9 days ago. It doesn't feel like 9 days ago. It feels like 2 months ago, but
yeah, it does.
We said that we would, right? We said that we would give away this fine figure, unopened.
Yeah, I do a close-up on you. Hold on.
Oh, there you go. It's fine figure, unopened, sealed. You can see the markings. It's still there.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So I don't even know what's inside here. I'm guessing it's what's in the picture, but there's no picture in the box. It's just on the outside.
Yeah, go figure.
So we're going to give it to the...
it needed to be CGC graded.
Yes. So this is a $200, over $200 value. And we said we were going to give it away to the first 10 people, one of the first 10 people who joined the Kickstarter campaign. So thank you very much for that.
Hey, Charles, welcome.
Hey, Charles.
JMS is live as well. Yeah, there's a lot of people live. Yeah, that's always going to happen.
So let me...
Thanks for showing up to my show.
So let me see. I have to... This is me figuring out stuff, so I got to share a different screen now.
Right. We'll do the...
Here.
Pick a winner.
Here. There we go. Is that right?
Yep.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type in the names on the right-hand side area, the first 10 people who did a pledge to the campaign. And then we'll hit the spin button, and whoever wins, wins. And just for a little bit of fun, I'm going to go a little entry for respin, and I'll put in a shuffle and respin. Just make it a little more exciting. So let's see. I'm looking at the backers right now. So I'm going to type it in as the order. So we have Kelly Gordon. I'm just reading what it says on the backer thing. I wonder if I can copy it. Nah, probably not. Okay, so then we have...
I hope we're not giving anybody's real names away.
That's just reading what it says.
Well, it's the only way to do this, I guess.
That's Nacho Huesa.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Nacho.
And we have Mr. Enigmatic. That one. Mr. Enigmatic. Enigmatic? That's an odd name.
Yeah.
But that's it. We have Shay.
Shay. That's Red Valkyrie, I believe.
Yeah,
Who we're gonna be on.
our graphic designer. She asked me during the live stream. I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Let's see, create a fund. Create a fund. We have Samuel. Number 8.
That's great. I like
Scott.
seeing new names pledging to my campaigns.
Scott Nofsinger. Nofsinger. Okay, and that was number 9. That's
Is it? Respin?
Yeah.
Respin is one?
So we got 1, 2. No, respin is just if I hit it, I'll respin it again. I'll spin it again.
Right.
So I'm reading. I'm actually reading the top 10. So number 9 is Allison McGlone.
Okay.
MCGLONE.
I was counting. So.
That's how I spelled it correctly. Well, it has a big number next to the name, so it makes it easier.
No, okay. It's my partner in crime.
Number 2, CRGINO. Oh, Sergio. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. Sergio Castro.
Arganus? No. Oh.
Castro. So I'm going to go halfway. I'm going to go. There you go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 1 extra for the respin and 1 for the shuffle and respin because there's a shuffle button and I can shuffle it anytime I want. So, all right. So are we ready? Do we have a drum roll? Do we have a graphic or anything for a drum roll? There we go. And we spin. And it's spinning, and it's spinning, and it's spinning on, looks like, ha ha! You got me. Ha ha! There you go, Abby. She gets the. I got her. All right. That's completely, as you saw live on this time.
We gotta go with what was picked. This is
and
not
I even put in respin and shuffle and respin just to make it even more random.
Yep.
So congratulations.
As random as possible.
This is gonna cost me an arm and a leg to ship it to the Philippines.
Well.
So congratulations. I will let you know when we're done with the live stream.
Now this is only if we fund our project.
Right.
That she'll get this. So
right. So if you want Abby to get her Harry Potter.
That's right. It's a big Harry Potter fan, is she?
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, there you have it. That was so hilariously unplanned. I thought it was gonna go to Shay.
No.
So sorry, Shay. You were second running. So yeah, we have how many more
EJB. She seemed pretty excited for the figurine.
She really was.
Awesome.
Let's see. We have at least I got what's today, the 9th? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, at least 13 more live streams to do to promote the book. I have been seeing it being promoted around, so I want to thank everybody for liking and sharing it and getting the word out there. That means the world. Pete is working on the... Oh, what can you do?
This. Boop. So this is our designated show tour, which we were on Dirk and Murphy Duke It Out.
There we go.
Tomorrow night, we're on Zencast.
All
with
times
Randy.
are Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. Randy Zimmerman. Then the 11th, we're on CreatorCon event. That's with my art rep, Philip Russert. Then later that night, we're on Kayla's show, Kayla Cuts Deep. Then the 13th, Shay, otherwise known as Red Valkyrie, will be on her show. That should be real fun. Then later, well, that's earlier, late afternoon. Then evening, we're on From the Desk of a Small Publisher. That's Joe. I'm blanking on his last name. Sorry.
McPhee? Joe McPhee?
Joe McPhee. Yeah, that's right. Too many people. Too many Joes. Then the 14th, 7:30, Indie Comics Explained.
That's J.G. Calderon.
That's right. That's one of the damn it, my brain. Raging 2 Network
Yes.
participants.
Yes.
Then on the 16th, Nerds of the Round. Is that
That's with Sebastian Bonet. I think you've met them or interacted with them before.
I don't. It doesn't ring a bell. Is that a Facebook show or something?
I usually see them on Facebook, but I think they have a YouTube as well. But yeah, they are nerds, and I think they also have a actual podcast. I hear it on Spotify and stuff like that.
Yeah. So as far as shows that don't ring a bell, that one came to mind, and the next one, Secrets of the Sire.
That's with Mike Dolce.
Okay. I know. Well, I know of Mike. I don't know if I ever spoke with him.
So he has his own show, and that's where Hassan Godwin drifted off to after he left our show.
He's on that show. So
yes, our colorist is on that show.
We get to actually interact with our colorist. That's insane.
Yes.
And then so that's in mid-afternoon. Then later that night, we're on Catch the Craze.
And that will be with our letterer.
Yeah, our letterer and Sam Vega, right? Sam Vega.
Vera. Vega is a completely different person and character.
Right. And then the 18th in the evening is Joshua Kimball. And I've been on his channel where my internet always goes to crap. So I'll definitely be just my signature there. I'm like cursed every time I go on his stream. He's out in California. Maybe that's a factor. I don't know. Then the 19th, 7 p.m., we're on Comic Madness Network with Pops. Just hooked that up. And then that's all the shows that you will be a part of. And I'll be bringing it home, hopefully.
No, I can do the 24th.
Oh, you can do the 24th.
It's after the 25th. I'm MIA.
Oh, okay.
Falling off the internet.
Oh, okay. I thought like the 20th you couldn't be around or something.
No, the 20th is a convention I was going to go cover in Long Island, the Tropic Con.
Right. So, so everything here you can make. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Indie Comics Relay. Do I know that one?
Indie Comics Relay. I have that written down as Keith. So I talked to Keith on email. I have my notes. It says Keith email. So I spoke to Keith on email, and that's the show.
It sounds familiar. There's so many shows. And maybe we'll ring a bell later. But Dojo Kun, I know, never been on, never talked to the creator whose name I'm blanking on, but he runs a good show. So yeah, lots of good shows that we'll be a part of. If you want to catch us on these dates and these times, by all means, join the show tour train that we're on. How many shows have we done already? I forget.
So let's see. Today we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did one without you. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. We've done 8 so far. because we had the pre-launch, then we had our launch, so that's 8 altogether, and then our launch was 9. We've done a lot.
Like 21.
Did I lose you?
No, I was counting, and I'm being attacked by my cat. So, what you missed on camera, so. All right, that's enough of that. I'm back. Yeah. What a stellar group of shows.
It's a good mixture, I have to say.
And Pop says, look forward to having you guys on the 19th. Yeah, Joe McPhee, JD Calderon. Yeah. Yeah.
Is this the most
what?
Is this the most you've done, like, promoting? Because it's weird for me, because I'm usually the one hosting the show. So being interviewed, it gives me a new insight. I mean, I've done a couple, but in this rigorous, hitting it, sometimes I think I said something on one show when I actually said it on a different show. It's very odd for me.
Yeah. We have Keith Hopper in the chat. Hello, everyone. Getting back to the drawing board. Listening in the background. Oh, man. So happy to hear that, and look forward to you posting new artwork, dude. Is this the most? Yeah, because I mean, yes. Well, yes and no. I mean, I've been a part of other people's campaigns, and large and small degrees I've helped promote. But everything of the past is a blur. I do know, like, I went crazy for my own campaign for Retro on Kickstarter, but that was only 5 days. Like, I know I was exhausted after that 5 days, but like, I did an 8-hour stream and a 7-hour stream, like, to start and to finish on my channel. And I was on other people's shows, but yeah, this is probably, altogether, this is probably the most I've done for one book during a campaign. But yeah, I mean, like, we really hope that people see this project, that know it's out there, that share it out, that pledge to it, that tell other people, that watch our streams, that, like, share the streams as well, and all that jazz. If we can get this funded, then, if I actually make a profit off of this, that money goes into Retro. So you want this to happen if you want to see Retro. If you want to see it sooner than later.
I think for me, the fact that we've come this far, like, let's get past that finish line, because I don't want to wait another 30 years. I don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, this is our option to get it funded. We really want people to pledge to it and talk about it, and it's sort of like getting over a hump, because as a creator, more people don't know you or what you're capable of. So we get this first issue funded. I think the next one around will be easier, like, and the potential, like, you said on streams and on the shows, the potential to fund the whole book is there with this Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's a unique situation. I've based on my research. It's a very unique situation where the story is written, the pencils are done, the inks are mostly on their way to be done. So I know one of the biggest issues based on my research alone, and I did a good 3 months of dedicated research on Kickstarter and everything, because originally we were going to go through a publisher, so that threw a monkey wrench to that. And the fact that we can do more with what we have than what most people do. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest important thing, that we're not like, the book exists. It's not just, as soon as we get the money, we're going to start drawing and writing the story. No, it's done. That story is so old. And it's not even that dated. That's another thing I kind of made it in a way that it holds up now. Like, just if you read the story, beyond, I'd say, one thing, which was that she was listening to an answering machine. That's the only thing that you can say, oh, that was back then. But even though there was cell phones in the story, you can have it in a situation today where people, you can add, battery doesn't work, or we're out of signal, because it's such a small contained story.
Yeah.
So it does hold up to nowadays, which I'm very proud of, I have to say.
Yeah, but you can also read it like, oh, okay, this story was written in the 90s, so it's kind of based over there,
We were just on a stream, Murph and Dirk Duke It Out, and they were talking about being lost in the woods, and it reminded me of a story that had happened to me many years ago, that I almost got lost in the woods and my friends thought they were going to die. It's one of my favorite stories to tell, and I tell it all the time to all my friends. And I remember one time, and this had happened, I would say about 2000, 2001, 2002, like around that time. Maybe, yeah, around that time. And I was telling my niece about it. And her birthday just came around. I think she's like 35 now. So I was telling her when she was a kid. And I was telling her the story. And she goes, Uncle Marky, how come they didn't use cell phones? I'm like, because there weren't any cell phones back then. So that just reminded me of, like, this is how the story is. Just there's certain things that just the technology wasn't there. But other than that, the story is the same. Aliens come down, people find it, they get powers. Very minimalistic, very small time story, and it makes sense. And hopefully people will enjoy it when they read it.
Yeah, we said, like, the art is really good. Jay did a great job, and I ain't it, so enough said. But and when I read it back then, and I was really impressed with your writing and the storytelling, and one of the things we haven't focused on. And I don't know how informed with the story you are, but just the first issue, the chunk of the first issue. Can you describe the overall, not the, I don't want to give anything away, but like just the theme of what happens in the first issue?
So we get introduced to the aliens. That's the most important thing, because we're in the middle of their war. We also get introduced to 2 of the main characters of the 5. A lot of things are set up that are explained further down the issues, but basically what happens is that our main character is narrating the story. And what I did, if I remember correctly, each issue, each 22 pages, had someone else narrating the story. So this one, the main character, Natasha Ashe, who was based on Britney Spears, who's named after my first kiss when I was a kid. I think I was 6 years old at the time. She kissed me on the cheek. Her name was Natasha Ashe. We are introduced to her about how luck is just not on her side, and she gets into a car accident. But it happens to be the biggest multi-car accident in the immediate time frame of a couple of years that happened. And the reason for the car crash is explained further down. And it's all tied into why the car crash happened, why she was there at that time because she was running late, why all the people who were there in the car crash get brought into the hospital because it was right outside the hospital. And then she's in a coma. She gets recovered. She meets a person who turns out later to be an important character. And she gains sort of like an intuition. And she starts seeing a ghost, which she thinks is a ghost. But we find out that it's one of the other characters because based on his powers, he's able to appear in people's dreams or when they are awake, but he's sleeping. So during all this time, you're like, okay, who's this guy? Who's this kid? Why is he appearing? And as I said many times, I make it so that I'm not talking down to the audience. There's no one that says, hey, there's this kid. This is who he is. This is why he is. This is what he can do. None of that happens. It's just this is what's happening, and you react to it. And that's what the story happens in the first 22 pages.
Yeah. And it's going to look great with Hassan's coloring and the lettering all over it. And is there I know what I'm doing with my book Retro. Like, it's going to have a lot of extras in the back. That, you know, we're just doing a streamlined sort of comic, right? It's going to be
I believe what
22-page story, but
you
will
get
there be any extra
26
pages?
pages. You get 26 pages, right? I believe 26. Is it
Well,
24?
32 pages is an average comic, but you can do less, you can do more, you know.
But it's by
Average.
fours, so it's 24 pages, right? So we pretty much get like 2 extra pages. If we just do the first issue, the plan is to have the cover for the second issue in there to
Right.
promote it. And then I'm not sure what we'll do with the last page. It might be a promotional item, might be a poster. It all depends on our cover artist. Because I was thinking if it's because he, as you know, he said he wanted to tweak it, but I still don't know what the
Right.
tweaks are. So if it's a significantly different image, we can use that image as like a bonus pinup instead
Right.
of using, and then we'll use the actual cover. So that was what I had in mind. Of course, you know, that was just kicking ideas around.
Yeah. You know, I inked a cover recently for Dave Brink, Genuine Comics, and it's actually a back cover. Like, nobody usually does a back cover. Maybe we could stick it on the back, like the original cover.
Yeah.
Always an option too. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. What else? What else haven't we covered on all our streams thus far that we could talk about? I mean, you know, mostly that we're going from show to show. We're you know, I'm trying to stream every day and talk about the project. You know, I'm kind of back now, trying to get back into a normal schedule. You know, I talked about what happened recently in last video on this channel, if you're curious. And yeah, it's mostly just want people to take a look at our book and check it out and share it out and pledge and anything you can think of.
When I originally, we could talk about the process. Like, I wrote it, I had intended to get it out. It wasn't like I decided to sit and wait on it for all this time to get it out. The plan was to get it out back then. The goal was to get it out back then. We came close. We came very close. But it's so weird how you think it's easier than it is. They're like, yeah, you just make the comic, yeah, and circumstances happen. It's weird how you have all these plans and they don't go anything like you expected, and then you just kind of have to build your way out of it. And some people would quit, some people just give up. But I always had that idea, it's like, you know, if I could just get this out, just to get it out and see it in its light of day and have it, people read it and enjoy it. I went to San Diego Comic-Con in 2018, and I was on a panel and we talked about the book. And just the fact that some random person, you know who it was, different state, I'm in New York, comes up to me after the panel, is like, this is a really cool idea, I want to read more about it. I was like, holy crap, it made me feel so good. Just that made me feel good. So I can only imagine how good it was someone actually read the book.
And I was just thinking, like, you know, the quality of the book is probably going to be much better when we deliver now as opposed to if we delivered back then. Because I think you said we originally were going to just release it as a black and white comic.
Yeah, it was supposed to be black and white. Weird thing, I don't think in color. So anytime I have an idea for a story, I never think in color. So the placeholder for the cover image that Francesco did was the first time I ever saw any of my characters in color. And he was like, "What colors?" I was like, "Oh, make whatever." And he did that. I was like, "Wow, it really pops." So the pages we have on the Kickstarter was also the first time I've seen those pages in color. In comparison, it's very unusual to see it in that way because I don't think in color. It's very odd.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing the rest of it colored. Definitely, it's going to be a good book. I mean, you know, I really, really just, you know, it's like I really wanted to be a part of it again because it is such, you know, it's well written, it's well drawn, it's a good story, and it's one and done. Like, you know, you mentioned like a possible sequel and whatnot, and you know, like you could always continue stories, but it's a complete story as is. And you know, I always wanted that as sort of like my catalog of work. Like I want something I could point to and say, this is one thing. Here, take it, read it, you know, enjoy it. You know, as opposed to the million different pieces I've worked on. So yeah, I'm really proud of it, and you know, I hope, you know, just keep pushing until we get funded, and just keep pushing it afterwards to get the rest of the books out there as well. You know, issue 2, 3, 4, and so on.
Yeah, and make sure the most important thing I keep on saying all the time, just share it out there, let people know about it. Like I said, I have been seeing people sharing it out, not just you people, other people as well. So I know it's being shared, so that's awesome. And I say keep on doing that. People, times are tough. You know, you might, you might, as I said a couple of times, you might need that dollar for a soda at the dollar store or something, $1.25 store now. Like you might need it, and it just takes a couple seconds to say, "Hey, check out this book. It looks really cool. Maybe they can support it." There's a lot of people who may not know about it. Share it out there. Say, "Hey, check it out." I would appreciate that more instead of you going into the poorhouse, donating $1 or donating whatever money you have. If I don't want you to be in a situation like, you know, do I eat or do I get a comic book? It's no, just share it out there.
Yeah. One of the things I haven't done yet, that I've been meaning to, but I had, you know, a billion other things to take care of, was to do an update on my Kickstarter. So you can do an update with your campaign and actually tell people about something else you're working on. So I'll do an update for Designated as well as Wildcat, since that's still going. And you know, I worked on Hawk in New York, a couple of issues, and people can buy those. So yeah, I'll do a hey, everything else kind of update.
Yeah,
I know you're waiting for my book, but meanwhile,
you never know. Why not? It don't hurt.
It don't hurt. So, yeah. So that's pretty much what I wanted to get out there. You know, we'll get all these shows lined up and let you know about that. We did the Hermione giveaway with our excellent winner, Abby, who's on our project, but it wasn't fixed. It wasn't rigged. It was completely random. So if we finance our first book, she will be getting that. So make that happen for Abby. Abby's sake.
Yes.
So any last words? Want people to know where to find you? Anything?
As I always say, just Google It Came From the Radio, www.camefromtheradio.com. We're a weekly syndicated radio show. Comic book is also being promoted on there. New shows aired every week on Monday. You can listen to us if you're in Westchester County, New York at 88.1 FM WARY. And we're also on online radio stations at various points in time throughout the week. And 40 different podcast places. So you have Spotify, iHeart, Google Play, or any of those. If it exists, we're probably on it. Just type in Came From the Radio.
Excellent. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining the chat. Those that did. If you're watching this afterwards, give it a like. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And yeah, we're continuing with the tour, and I'll be streaming and actually working coming up. Hopefully tomorrow. If not, then the day after. Just catching up with life stuff and whatnot. But yeah, thank you so much for checking us out, and we'll see you again.